What's up everyone? Welcome once again to the channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and today we're going to be talking about what you guys have been requesting since last night. That's right, this is a reaction to the full performance of Ahtisa Manalo at Miss Universe Philippines 2025. Before we get into the video, I just want to say a huge congratulations to Ahtisa for a stellar performance that I got the opportunity to witness live last night in MOA. This has been a long time in the making, and by all means, it was an iconic performance that I'm super excited to break down for you guys today to give you my thoughts, opinions, and all of those things. As usual, if you enjoyed this video and find value in it, don't forget to hit the like button, please. Subscribe to the channel as well, and be part of the conversation in the comment section down below. So without further ado, everyone, let's get into this reaction. I'm so excited. All right, so here we go. Let's get right into it.
Maria Ahtisa Manalo.
There she
Quezon
goes.
Province.
Maria Ahtisa Manalo, Quezon
Join
Province.
Quezon Province!
All right, you know what, you guys? This particular clip is starting, this video is starting with the first cut of the competition, which was, of course, the announcement of the top 24. This part was a little bit suspenseful because I believe Ahtisa was called towards the end of it, and a lot of the front runners like Chelsea Fernandez, Ileana Maria Duana, Ahtisa Manalo, they were still not called within the top 24, so everyone was kind of nervous. The energy in the room was very tense. There was like a suspense. And obviously everyone was over the moon, rejoiced once her name was called into the top 24. But you know, before we get deeper into this, I just want to acknowledge for a moment the introduction number, because there's this little thing about me that usually whenever I see a girl on stage and she's doing something well, or she's doing something, you know, exceptional or different from everyone, I just have this sixth sense that sometimes just lets me know. The moment that I saw Ahtisa during the opening number, it was towards the middle of the opening number with the dancers and the other girls. Some of the girls were wearing part of their national costume, some of them were wearing, you know, more like traditional attires. And there was something about her, she had a specific glow that I turned around and I told my friend, she's gonna win tonight. She has the winning glow. And ultimately, that's what ended up happening. But just to let you know that before we even get further into the analysis and the show, I think that already, before she even had a moment alone on stage, Ahtisa was already standing out compared to everyone else in the venue.
Quezon Province!
Listen to the people going crazy in the venue, screaming.
Quezon Province! Ahtisa from Quezon Province takes pride in supporting her family's achievements. She dreams of creating a farm-to-table cafe someday.
Okay, so as we can all see, Ahthisa's aura here is very relaxed. The girl is coming on stage, she's not rushing it, she's not trying to do anything too fierce. Simply, you know, like simple walk, movement of the hips, confidence, a beautiful smile, and that's what we are getting. And you know what? I think that's more than enough. I also like the fact that the voiceover took the time to highlight some of the things that she does and that she likes. You know, she's an entrepreneur and that she has this dream of having like a farm to cafe type of business. So it just gave us a different glimpse at the girls. So I personally really enjoyed this particular segment. You know, instead of having an introduction with all of the girls just yelling their names and their localities, I thought it was better to have her simply walk, present herself while someone else is doing the talking.
She dreams of creating a farm-to-table cafe someday.
Look at her. The smile, the styling with the hair volume, it's spot on. I love it. And you know, to be quite honest, from the very beginning, I was seated on the G row on the VIP area, and we could see the blush on her face. So I knew there was something special coming up because the makeup was very specific, which ultimately turned out to be the pink evening gown. But we'll talk about that when the time comes. I just want to say that I noticed that there was something different with Ahthisa's makeup, styling, and all of those things. Swimsuit. This is the moment that I knew. I was like, come on, girl. Yes. Very playful, still elegant. Still elegant. Let's go back. It's really when Ahtisa came out and she had like the hair flip, you know, with that turn. To be honest, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Catriona at Miss Universe. Obviously, not the same technique, not even the same hairstyle. Catriona had the flat hair, you know, long flat hair. Here, Ahtisa is wavy and full of volume. But that kind of like a little bit of a slow motion turn with the hair. Let's look at it. There she goes. Woo! Yeah, I honestly feel like she just kind of inspired herself from the Catriona book for this particular moment, which I love because these are sister queens, you know? These are girls who competed before together, who are friends even up until this day. I even saw Catriona congratulating Ahtisa on her Instagram page as well. So I like to see that Ahtisa kind of stayed loyal to her past, to where she comes from you know her beginnings, and kind of incorporated it all in this Miss Universe Philippines journey. I feel like now more than ever, this time around, it felt genuine. You know, it felt really like she was embracing all of the things that she had to do in order to get to this point. So personally, I really enjoyed this reference. I mean, in terms of her physique, I love that Ahtisa, I mean, super toned, super defined, supernatural, okay? She is perhaps not the most muscular, toned girl of the entire competition, but the body looks natural, fierce, and is giving me exactly what I needed to get from the swimsuit competition. Now, let me know, you guys, down below if you also agree with me, if you were happy with her performance during this particular round, because I know that, you know, other people were rooting for other girls as well, which is fine, but what did you think of Atisa's performance when you saw her coming out on stage, whether you watched from the venue or from home with the TV?
You're still in
Next cut.
Quezon Province.
All right. This was no surprise. At this point, it was expected. Okay, y'all. Now we're about to get into the evening gown, and I have a lot of things to say about this, so bear with me, okay? I'm gonna stop a few times and I'm gonna tell you guys my thoughts and all of that, but let's see. Let's go back a little bit, okay? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Stairs, stairs, stairs. A lot of the girls were struggling with the stairs, to be fair. Wait! The girl, my girl Ahtisa, fell on stage. Honestly, I was in the crowd trying to film this moment with my phone, so I kind of just went back, and I was trying to focus on her and also like looking at people around me. So I didn't really see the moment that she fell. I only saw her suddenly like on the floor, and I thought to myself, "What happened?" I went crazy. I even slapped the floor. I was like, "No, Ahtisa!" Because imagine, this is the third time that the girl has been attempting to come back to Miss Universe Philippines to, like, you know, get the Miss Universe Philippines title. One of those times was in Binibini, obviously, but two times now at the standalone competition. So I thought, oh my God, I really hope that this incident is not going to ruin her chances of winning the crown, because she has been working so hard for this. And honestly, the moment that she came out on the stairs with the dress, the venue went just crazy. So I feel like most people were very happy with the dress, with the color, and I'll tell you about that in a bit. But it was such like a glorious beginning. Everyone was unanimous about being happy and joyful when it comes to her look, to the dress. Everything was on point, and then suddenly, plop, she's on the floor. Like, my heart just skipped a bit, and not one, maybe a couple of beats. Ooh, ee. There she goes. She will recover. She will recover. Yes. Okay. So a couple more things about the fall, and then I will let it go. I saw a lot of comments online, people saying Ahtisa faked her fall just for her to be liked by the judges, for them to have empathy for her and whatnot. Honestly, there's certain things that one can fake or one can plan to like strategize, but the way that she fell, if you look at her arms and the way that she almost, facial expression, just look at how she almost yelled. I feel like it's very unexpected for her. You see her face? You see her face, and then the hands were very defensive, almost as if like, look at the hands. Oh, oh Jesus. Protect my girl. Mm-mm. But she recovered beautifully. Beautifully. She said, "Not today, Satan. Not today." feel like even through her facial expression, she did not allow this moment to defeat her like at all. Look at the aura, okay? The aura, the energy, the vibes were immaculate. They were not affected by the fall. And people, as I said, were saying that maybe she faked it, maybe it's a strategy, maybe whatnot. I will tell you this, I do believe that the fall helped Ahtisa perhaps get some points with the judges, but not because of the fact that she had, the empathy and because she fell and like poor girl, but rather because she recovered so beautifully. Like she was in like professional mode from beginning to end. The moment that she fell, she stood up, she recovered, put on a smile, gathered her energy, and she proceeded with her routine as if nothing had just happened. Definitely, this was a roller coaster. My heart skipped a beat. Now, I'm just gonna go back here to this part where we can kind of see the dress. Because I want to comment about this for a moment. Okay, so for those of you who have been watching my coverage of Miss Universe Philippines this year, I made a very specific video only about Ahtisa and how she could possibly win Miss Universe Philippines and the styling and how I believe she should kind of pursue this journey in order to be successful at the very end of it. And one of the points that I made was that I thought that Ahtisa needed to kind of embrace the past because the second time that she joined to compete for the Miss Universe Philippines crown, meaning last year, I feel like Ahtisa almost reinvented herself. Okay, she came out with a newer, fresher, fiercer version of who she was, and she was kind of trying to distance herself from the wholesome, angelic, princessy-like persona of a Miss International, right? Which is fine. I really appreciated the more fierce, womanly side of Ahtisa, but at the same time, one thing that I mentioned is that that previous image is what made her known to the pageant fans. It's what helped her build a legacy and name for herself. So of course, if that's what people love, you cannot really distance yourself completely from it. So last year during finals and even during her time at Miss Cosmo, I thought that that little spark of innocence, of joy, softness was missing. And I was hoping that for this time around at Miss Universe Philippines, Ahtisa will kind of incorporate those things and find a better balance, which she absolutely did. Not just on the performance side of things, as I told you, she kind of toned it down a little bit and was more easygoing, more calm, more at ease. But also, I mean, when you look at this particular dress, it's kind of a princessy vibes. This would be a dress that I could actually see on the stage of a Miss International, on the stage of Binibining Pilipinas, and why not also on the stage of Miss Universe Philippines? Because it's not so much about what you are wearing, but how you are wearing it. And Ahtisa, I think, really understood the assignment here. Both the design of the dress and the color of the dress kind of take me back to the dress that she won Binibining Pilipinas International in. So it's kind of a reference to herself. It's kind of an homage, a tribute to that Ahtisa who, for the very first time, was able to bag a national title and then ultimately went to represent the Philippines abroad. And it's kind of a history repeating itself this time around. Her competing for the title of Miss Universe Philippines once again, winning the national title, and eventually going internationally to represent the country. So 10, 10, 10s across the board. No complaints. Let's keep watching. This turn with the face, oh, girl, the face card is exquisite. She was doing all of that after falling on stage in front of thousands of people. I mean, she handled it so well. I would have been crying and running backstage and calling my mom.
Come on down, Quezon Province.
Hi, Quezon Province.
Okay. Okay, guys, so now we're getting into the Q&A, and I'm just gonna tell you here, a little spoiler. I will have a separate video as a reaction for the Q&A portion alone. Like for the top 6, everyone, I will analyze and tell you my thoughts because I know that there are mixed opinions about this. For now, I will limit myself to Ahtisa, just tell you what I think, how she handled this and how she did, okay?
Before we start, you want to greet your fans?
Hello to all my family, my friends that are here. Thank you so much for your support. I can feel your energy here and it pushes me to go forward.
You
Laban!
may pick the last question from the bowl.
Yeah.
Ooh, she was the last one.
Your question is, they say that a good leader leads by example. Tell us about one event in your life when you led by example and the impact it made.
Okay, yeah. So I remember that all of the questions that night were kind of political about the elections and whatnot, which is coming up here in the Philippines. And she was asked precisely to give an example of a time that she was, that she had to lead by example herself. So let's see how she handled that. I remember the answer, but I want to hear it again and break it down for you guys.
I fell a while ago on stage. And the thing with me is, whenever I fall in life, I always make sure I come back stronger. Last year, I was here on the stage, and for the second time this year, I'm here putting everything on the stage to be Miss Universe Philippines because this is mine and my grandmother's shared dream, and she passed away early this year. And this is my ode to her.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Whew. Okay, truthfully, when the question was asked, there was like a little pause, maybe like 2, 3 seconds before Ahtisa started answering the question. And I was there at the venue, and the first thing that came to mind is, give an example of a time that you had to lead by example. I mean, girl, you just fell on stage. You literally just dropped in front of everyone and you stood up and you continued your journey and you continued fighting for the crown and you gave your absolute best and you nailed it in front of everyone because you wouldn't let go of your dream. That's the perfect example of you leading by example, right? You don't have to just talk the talk, but whenever you fall, you stand up. And what's the first thing that came out of her mind? Just a few moments ago, I fell here. And then I stood up because one thing about me is that every time that I fall, I stand up even stronger. That was such a clever answer, in my opinion. And you know what? It's not about having fancy terms or about making it like overly complex or overly political or anything like that because the question itself is a political question. But she managed to turn it into something else, into a positive message of inspiration for the people. And she used something that everyone could relate to. The judges, the audience, the organizers, the other girls, everyone saw her trip on stage. So they all know what she's talking about. It's not like they have to make an effort to imagine what it feels like. No, girl, I fell. I humiliated myself falling in front of everyone, and then I stood up and then I kept fighting because this is my dream. And that's the message that I want to send to everyone out there as well. So once she gained the sympathy of the judges and the audience with that particular answer, she then continued to elaborate about the fact that recently she lost her grandmother and that this was kind of a shared dream between her grandmother and Ahtisa herself, and that this performance, this journey at Miss Universe Philippines is kind of an ode to her grandmother. Again, this is a family matter. She didn't go the political route. So in a way, she shows a path that everyone can relate to. Everyone has like parents or grandparents or great grandparents, someone in your family that has died, and you kind of feel that loss. And sometimes you want to give your best just to make them proud because this is something that they would have wanted for you. So I think that Ahtisa's answer, when it comes to the structure, the terms that she used, or how she even approached the answer, she didn't go with the scientific route or being overly political or wanting to sound overly smart. She simply gave an empowering example of a time that she had to lead by example when she fell and she literally had to stand up and continue fighting. And then she justified her journey and how she approaches every single challenge with the death of her grandmother that wanted this for her. And she is doing it as an homage, as a tribute, as a nod to her grandmother. So brilliant. It's not about what she said, but it's about how she said it and what she made us feel while we were listening to her. That's the most important part. Just listen to the applause. Final walk. Okay, so everyone knows that the final walk is not really scored. It's simply just for the judges to have enough time to finalize the scores of the Q&A. So she's not being evaluated here, but you know, she's giving it still her best attempt. And they didn't show it here, but towards the end, this second part, she almost tripped once again, and she was laughing. She took it like in a, humorous way, which I think it was the right thing to do, but she almost tripped once again.
The Miss Universe Philippines 2025 is Quezon Province!
Let's go, Ahtisa!
Quezon Province, you are Miss Universe 2025!
Grabe!
Let us all welcome our new Miss Universe Philippines 2025.
The people in the venue were just going crazy. Everyone was so happy, celebrating. Ahtisa is indeed a very, very loved queen.
Congratulations again to our new queen, and congratulations to the men and women of the Miss Universe Philippines organization on the success of tonight's coronation. Thank you, everybody. I'm Gabby Garcia.
There she goes. Okay, so you know what? I'll share with you guys a couple of last minute thoughts, that I had when it comes to Ahtisa being crowned. It was a little bit of a weird sensation for me because I had a similar experience with Ahtisa than what I had perhaps with like Michelle D. Remember, Michelle D competed before Miss Universe Philippines, and then Celeste Cortesi ended up winning. And that time, I was actually rooting for Celeste. I thought Celeste was a deserving one that time. And Michelle still needed to polish a couple of things. But the second time when Michelle D came back to Miss Universe Philippines, she was undeniably good. She was excellent. She was meant to be the winner. And when she actually won the title, I was over the moon, elated, just so happy for her. It's exactly the same feeling that I have with Ahtisa this time around. Last year when she competed, as I was telling you, there were a couple of things that to me were a little bit off in terms of maybe the styling or how she was trying to brand herself and all of those things. But this time around, she came back in such an effortless way, such a genuine, authentic way, just really showcasing the best that she has to offer without trying too hard to be someone else or to fit into a specific mold, that it felt like the right time for Ahtisa to win this crown. So the moment that her name was called, I can tell you, first of all, I was so happy for her because deserve, but also you could tell that the people in the venue were really celebrating, that even the fellow contestants, like the girls, everyone came to give her a hug, everyone was super happy, and it was just a joyous moment for everyone. In terms of history, Ahtisa kind of pulled a Pia Words back. I mean, competing at Miss Universe Philippines 3 times before she ended up bagging the title. Since the beginning of her journey, I've been saying this was a redemption journey for Ahtisa, and you know what? She actually did succeed in her quest for redemption. So I'm very happy to see that, and I cannot wait to see how she will deploy her strategy for Miss Universe in Thailand in just a couple of months. So let me know, you guys, how do you feel about Ahthisa's full performance, my comment, my analysis, my anecdotes, and all those things. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and want more content like this, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and remember that I will be posting a full review of the entire show as well as a Q&A portion reaction. So if you wanna watch those videos, make sure that you are subscribed and activate the notification bell. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye now.